going to put you in cuffs, mate, alright. What's your name, fella?
Francis.
Say that again.
Francis Kelly.
Gary?
Francis.
Gary Francis?
Francis Kelly.
Francis Gary?
Francis
Right.
Kelly.
Carrie?
Kelly.
Kelly, it's alright. My ears, your... Right, we'll walk over here, fella.
This is James with him. He was arrested for the brutal murder of a 28-year-old woman in her own home. Shockingly, when the police arrested him, he was still smoking a cigarette, looking cold and creepy, as if he had no fear or remorse. But this was more than just a simple murder. Behind it was a dangerous gang network with bloody paybacks, betrayals, and feuds that lasted for years. This case has shocked the whole city of Liverpool because of its brutality. Let's follow each detail to uncover the horrifying truth behind this case. The victim of this case was Ashley Dale, a 28-year-old woman from Liverpool. An intelligent, kind, and idealistic woman. From a young age, she demonstrated a sense of responsibility in her family, being the eldest of 3 children, and always protecting and caring for her parents and younger siblings. Despite experiencing a great loss when her younger brother Lewis Dale was mistakenly shot dead during a gangland fight in 2015, Ashley still overcame the pain and pursued her studies and completed a BA in environmental health. After graduating, she was recruited to work for Knowsley Council as an environmental officer, where she earned the respect of her colleagues and residents for her dedication, thoughtfulness, understanding, and community spirit. Outside of work, Ashley lived with her dog, Dala, and enjoyed a simple, joyful life with friends and family, especially music and festivals, things that helped her heal from her loss. However, Ashley's life began to spiral into danger when she entered into a relationship with Lee Harrison, a man with close links to armed drug gangs in Liverpool. Despite repeated warnings from her family, Ashley still believed in the good side of her lover, believing that he was changing. Little did she know that this relationship would drag her into the heart of a gang feud. Lee Harrison, Ashley Dale's boyfriend, and Niall Barry were close friends for many years. They grew up in the same area of Liverpool, shared their youth, and later became partners in criminal activities, especially drug trafficking. Lee and Barry were known in the industry as fellow boys, distributing cannabis and especially high-value illegal drugs. Their relationship was considered brothers in arms. Nothing could separate them. However, everything changed completely in 2018 when a major incident occurred. In a daring robbery, Niall Barry's house was broken into by a criminal group called Hillsiders, who stole more than £40,000 worth of illegal drugs. This robbery not only caused Barry to lose all his goods, but also seriously affected his reputation in the drug trafficking world, a blow to his reputation and prestige that was difficult to recover. What made Barry even angrier was that he was sure that there must be an insider who gave information to the Hillsiders. Because the shipment was carefully hidden in his private home, known only to a few close people. Suspicion quickly fell on Lee Harrison because he knew that Lee had a shady relationship with some members of the Hillsiders. Despite Lee's repeated denials, Barry still believed that he had been betrayed by his best friend. From then on, their relationship turned from close friendship to deep hatred. Barry cut off contact with Lee, and rumors circulated in the underworld that Lee had sold out his friends to gain a foothold in a rival gang. This hatred smoldered for many years. In June 2022, the feud was reignited at the Glastonbury Music Festival, one of the UK's largest outdoor events. Ashley Dale and Lee Harrison attended the festival as a normal couple, unaware that Niall Barry's gang was also present. In the bustling crowd, Lee and a member of Barry's gang accidentally bumped into each other, and the encounter quickly escalated into a brawl. Although Niall Barry did not witness the fight, he was told the whole story by his underlings, including Lee's provocative behavior and assault of his men. This event was the last straw for Barry. Shortly after, Barry bluntly declared to his friends, "The next time I see him, I'm going to stab him in the back." Not only was Lee threatened, but Ashley, Lee's girlfriend, was also targeted with the warning that she would also pay the price if she continued to be with the traitor. After the festival, Ashley began to experience prolonged stress. She texted friends, saying she felt like she was being watched, heard strange noises around the house, and even called herself a duck waiting to be shot. The night of the 20th of August, 2022 began like any other for Ashley Dale. She was sitting on the sofa with her dog, Dala, in a quiet cottage in the Old Swan area of Liverpool. Her boyfriend, Lee Harrison, was not home at the time. What Ashley did not know, however, was that two armed men, James Wither and Joseph Pearce, had planned to attack the house in a bloody revenge that she had no part in. Wither and Pearce were close associates of Niall Barry and had been tasked with assassinating Lee Harrison. Initially, the pair decided to approach the house indirectly, slashing the tires of Ashley's white Volkswagen parked outside the front door with a knife. This set off the car alarm, hoping to lure Lee or Ashley out so they could attack them on the street. However, when no one appeared, they retreated and switched to Plan B, a frontal assault with heavy weapons. At around 12:30 a.m., the two returned to the scene, this time armed with a small-caliber Scorpion machine gun, a lethal weapon often used in organized crime. Dressed in black, they approached the house from the front. Without hesitation, James Witham kicked open the front door, creating a loud bang that woke Ashley up in the middle of the night. She grabbed her dog, Dala, and ran frantically towards the back door in an attempt to escape, but she didn't get the chance. As soon as she sensed movement in the house, Witham opened fire. 8 shots in rapid succession from the Scorpion. One hit Ashley in the back as she turned to run, sending her sprawling on the backyard floor, just steps from the back door. Her phone was still in her hand, the thing she'd grabbed to call for help, but never had the chance to call. It fell next to her body, covered in blood and dirt. As Ashley lay motionless, Dala shivered in the corner, unsure of what had happened. Not stopping there, James Witham rushed up to the second floor, firing 5 more shots into empty rooms, as if searching for Lee, the real target of the attack, in the hope that he was hiding upstairs. But Lee was not in the house that night, and the shots only left bullet holes in the walls and ceiling. After the attack, Witham and Pearce fled the scene, leaving behind a devastated home and a life. Police arrived just minutes after a neighbor called, but it was too late. Ashley Dale, a 28-year-old woman with no criminal involvement, died in fear, pain, and completely innocent. That door is open, is it? Yeah, you want to take the lead. That door is open. Thanks, please. That last one. The investigation began with a thorough search of the area around the crime scene. Cameras on several streets near Ashley's home recorded a gray Hyundai i30N driving suspiciously around the Page Moss area on the evening of the murder. This was the car that James Witham and Joseph Pearce, the two gunmen, used to scout and approach the victim's house. Police quickly tracked the license plate and determined the exact route the car traveled throughout the night of the 20th. Meanwhile, investigators discovered a series of text messages on Ashley's phone that foretold her death. She had told friends that she was scared, that someone was watching her, that something terrible was about to happen. These messages became key evidence, not only confirming her fears before her death, but also helping police understand the threat she faced from Niall Barry's gang. Police also obtained CCTV footage from the hotel in St. Helens, where James Witham and Joseph Pearce were hiding just hours after the crime. Police quickly tracked down the gray Hyundai i30N, the vehicle used in the crime, and issued a search warrant for the entire area. An officer patrolling the St. Helens area spotted the suspect vehicle on the road with 2 men inside. Without hesitation, the police force surrounded the vehicle and signaled it to stop. The entire action was recorded by a bodycam mounted on the officer's chest. "What's your name, fell?" "Say that again." "Francis Kelly." "Gary." "Francis." "Gary." "Francis." "Francis." "Gary." "Kelly." "Carrie." "Kelly." "Kelly." "It's all right. My walk, fell." "You got anything on you?" "Shouldn't." "No." "Anything in the vehicle?" "It shouldn't be." "Yeah. James. Right? Okay. You're under arrest for suspicion of murder." "All right. You say anything." "Defense." You don't make me question. If you do say, maybe give me evidence. All right. Whatever time was now. Yeah, come on. We'll sit down my vehicle. He's confirmed that he is James. Open the windows. Open the door. All right, lads. Keep your hands where you can see them. Just get your hand where you can see them. Yeah. What about that side? Yeah. Nobody could pop the door for us until we confirm your identity. Put your hand up, your arrest. Suspicion murder. Okay. You don't have to say anything. The moment the police opened the car door, pulled out their stun guns, and demanded that the two suspects put their hands up, in a haunting image, James Witham, the man who directly held the gun to kill Ashley, calmly took a drag of his cigarette, his face completely cold and emotionless, as if he did not care about the life he had just taken. There was not a trace of fear or remorse on his face. Both Witham and Piers were handcuffed on the spot, searched, and taken to the police station for questioning. The body cam footage sparked public outrage, not only because of the brutality of the crime, but also because of the indifferent, emotionless attitude of the perpetrator during the moment of arrest. This is also one of the important visual documents that will help strengthen the prosecution case later. After arresting the two gunmen, police turned their attention to Niall Barry, the real mastermind behind the hit. Using device tracking and intelligence, they discovered he was staying at a luxury golf resort in Forbes, where he was planning to leave the UK. Barry planned to escape by air or sea, but was arrested before he could do so in a carefully orchestrated raid. I will take you for. James has got 7 tash in special. Oh, hello, Nang. Yeah, I'll do. I'll come in there.
Time is 252. You're going to be arrested under suspicion of possession of that. It's in your bag with your passport in it.
Okay, question evidence. Soon after, a fourth suspect, Shane Zeiss, was arrested, accused of assisting in the logistics and planning of the assassination. As the web closed, the clues began to come together. Merseyside police gathered a wealth of evidence, encrypted messages, phone location data, traces of gunpowder, and witness statements, all of which contributed to the case. The interrogation process followed a legal procedure. Niall Barry was questioned about his role in the group, the revenge plot, and the plan to prepare to attack Lee Harrison. Barry denied direct involvement in the case, but could not deny organizing and directing the group to carry out the attack. James Witham, the man labeled as the gunman, after a while confessed that he intended to fire a warning shot, but did not know there was anyone in the house. He said that he did not clearly recognize the victim's identity, but was still responsible for the 8 shots fired, one of which hit Ashley. Ultimately, the interrogation and the evidence pieced together a picture of what had happened. Organized revenge, not a spontaneous act. Ashley Dale's life, a completely innocent woman, was taken in a deliberate plan to target Lee Harrison. The suspects were charged with murder, attempted murder, and illegal possession of a firearm. Throughout the Ashley Dale murder case, the name Lee Harrison, the victim's boyfriend, became the center of controversy and outrage, not only because of his indirect connection to the crime, but also because of his indifferent and irresponsible attitude after Ashley was murdered. On the night of the murder on the 20th of August, 2022, Lee Harrison was not present at Ashley's house. This may seem like he was innocent, but all the details of the investigation later showed that it was the feud between Lee and his old gang. When the tragedy happened, Lee's attitude was completely cold and evasive. From the beginning, he refused to cooperate with the police, did not provide a statement, even turned off his phone, changed his contact number, and disappeared from the lives of Ashley's family, who were writhing in pain and grief. At the memorial services, Lee did not appear, did not assist in the investigation, and absolutely did not show any remorse or share the loss with the victims' relatives. To make matters worse, just weeks after Ashley's murder, Lee was spotted vacationing in Spain while her funeral was still in progress, leaving the family in tears, shock, and grief. This left the public asking, could someone who truly loved her behave like that? Lee's coldness, indifference, and avoidance not only angered Ashley's family but also made the police suspect that he had an indirect role in the case. although legally he was never charged. Adding fuel to the fire, after a period of hiding, Lee Harrison suddenly posted a memorial post for Ashley on social media, writing emotional words as if he was heartbroken over losing her. It included, "It's been 2 years, you were a really important person, hope you're in heaven, an angel left me, a devil replaced me." The words sounded heartbreaking but made many people feel disgusted because it was he, with his gang connections and indifference after the case, who indirectly led to Ashley's death. Her family considered the post more of an insult than a memorial. To this day, Lee Harrison has not been prosecuted, continues to be involved in drug trafficking in Liverpool, and lives as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Ashley, a hard-working, kind, community-minded woman, was robbed of her life because she fell in love with an unworthy man. To many, Lee did not hold a gun, but he was the door that opened Ashley's death, and it was his indifference and subsequent evasion of responsibility that made public opinion unforgivable. After more than a year of investigation, hundreds of pages of documents, digital evidence, videos, statements, and text messages from the victim's own phone, the trial of 4 suspects in the murder of Ashley Dale officially began in October and will conclude in November 2023 at Manchester Crown Court. The case has attracted a lot of media and public attention, not only because of its brutality, but also because of the level of innocence of the victim. During his trial, James Witham, who used the Scorpion to break into the house and kill Ashley, admitted to firing the gun, but tried to justify it by saying he just wanted to fire a warning shot and that Ashley was not the target. However, evidence from CCTV location data, threatening text messages, Ashley's fearful voice notes, and witness testimony all showed that his actions were deliberate and extremely brutal. He fired 8 shots, one of which hit the victim in the back as she ran away, and this could not be considered an accident. Niall Barry, the alleged mastermind, orchestrated the entire attack as revenge for Lee Harrison. Although Barry did not pull the trigger, he ordered it, coordinated the attack, provided the weapons, and set the timing, all of which are grounds for a statutory murder charge. Joseph Pearce, who provided logistical support and was present at the scene, was also charged as an accessory, while Shane Zeiss, who acted as a weapons officer and liaison between the suspects, was charged with assisting in the commission of the murder. It did not take long for the court to reach a verdict. On the day of the verdict, the entire courtroom was deathly silent. All 4 defendants were convicted of premeditated murder and received the following sentences. I sentence each of you to imprisonment for life on count 1 for the murder of Ashley Dale. Niall Barry, on count 1, murder. Your minimum term is increased to 35 years, but must be further increased to reflect your offending in counts 2, 3 and in the second indictment. Your minimum term is 47 years less, 43 days served on remand. James Witham on count 1, murder. Your minimum term has also increased to 35 years, but must be further increased to reflect your offending on counts 2 and 3. Your minimum term is 43 years less 25 days served on remand. Joseph Pearce on count 1, murder. Your minimum term is increased to 33 years, but must be further increased to reflect your offending in counts 2 and 3. Your minimum term is 41 years less 29 days served on remand. Shane Zeiss on count 1, murder. Your minimum term is increased to 32 years, but must be further increased to reflect your offending in counts 2 and 3 and the second indictment. Your minimum term is 42 years less 408 days served on remand. On count 2, conspiracy to murder, I impose a concurrent sentence of imprisonment for life on each of you with a minimum term of 18 years custody. On count 3, conspiracy to possess a prohibited firearm and ammunition with intent to endanger life, I impose a concurrent sentence of 14 years imprisonment on each of you. The sentences on the second indictment of 30 years imprisonment for you, Barry, and 10 years for you will also be served concurrently. You will each be required to pay the statutory charge, but in your cases, Zeiss and Barry, I've postponed the making of the order until the conclusion of the confiscation proceedings under the Proceeds of Crime Act. After the verdict, the media described the incident as a tragedy that began with a secret feud, was resolved with guns, and took the life of a completely innocent person. Ashley's mother, in a statement to the court, choked up and said, "The day Ashley died was the day I died. The light in my life went out. She was my first child, the light of our family, and now all that is left is grief and silence." Her grief comes not only from losing Ashley, but also from an old, unresolved pain. In 2015, the family's youngest son, Louis Dale, 16, was also shot and killed in a gang dispute. Now, in just 7 years, she has lost both of her own children to organized violence, and the sense of loss is irreparable. Liverpool, accustomed to underground gang violence, was shocked. Ashley was not a criminal, not a gang member, not involved in turf wars. She was just a decent young woman who had fallen in love with the wrong man. The injustice sparked a wave of calls to combat firearms, dismantle organized gangs, and support innocent victims. In the months following the trial, numerous vigils and community projects were held in Liverpool to honor Ashley Dale's memory and send a powerful message. No one else should have to die in a war they did not choose.